wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God, I let it go.
May 2022 video horoscopes with me, Lada from Astrolada.com. May is eclipse season. There will be some crises that are happening in our lives, some big reversals, but like with everything eclipses, those reversals can create powerful new opportunities in our lives. I had such a crisis right before the eclipse, and my YouTube channel with 300,000 followers was deleted, hacked and deleted, and YouTube refuses to restore it, which is a great opportunity to create the vision I've had for some time, because something had to push me to make a channel just with my own videos that is pure astrology with my teaching and occasional teacher, astrologer who is my guest. Plus, this pushed me to start an Astrolada streaming service, which we're in the process of creating, where you can access all the videos independent of any platforms and big players. So as you can see how they can delete your life in a second if they want. But I'm excited for this because it will be devoid of the vibrations of whatever it is, but we're still going to use YouTube to attract new followers. And please subscribe to that YouTube channel if you're using YouTube or whatever you're watching, Facebook or Instagram. Follow me, and I'll be posting here. We'll restore some of the old videos as well, which is great, the tutorial videos, and I have new rubrics, new monthly exciting astrology projects that I'll be doing. And by the way, if you want to still join me on my course in May the 4th, it starts. It will be live for 6 weeks. I'll be teaching foundational astrology, how to interpret the natal charts, the techniques that are very simple but extremely insightful. There is an installment plan if you can't afford to pay it just once. So, new beginning. Let's begin with eclipse seasons. A lot of us will be having new beginnings. Please take it as opportunities, not just as crises. Aquarius, Sun, Moon Rising, May 2022. Well, this is a month with a lot of developments for us. I have some great news, and I have some news that, to prepare you. Because it's eclipse season, I'm going to start speaking for the eclipses first, because they start acting even a month before that. So some of you might feel it already in April. The first eclipse, which is new moon eclipse, which brings something new and starts something new that you're excited about. Some new developments happens in our 4th house. So already you might have started it, or you started from May, something new in your home. And usually eclipses, even when they bring good things, it can indicate some changes and need to adapt, and it might be stressful, some crisis. Sometimes the crisis can be in the family when it's in the 4th house with one of the parents, or some big change that is started with the family, the need to move or to change something in the home. And exactly from the start of May, because I'm Aquarius rising, we're starting renovations, we're building a barbecue, so everything will be in the air, and I hope it's not big, huge crisis all the time. But usually this eclipse gives you something new. It's with Rahu, something gainful, something that, materially you can see. But it's kind of turbulent emotionally sometimes. And then the other eclipse that is big, and it's a full moon eclipse in the middle of May, and it's happening in our 10th houses. And not everyone will feel it, of course, like I did. I felt it already like 20 days before the eclipse, which is crazy because this eclipse falls exactly on my 10th house cusp at 25 degrees in Scorpio. And my account was hacked in YouTube. I lost 10 houses career, public image. I lost all my 300,000 followers that I built, and I can't get them back. But I trust the right ones will come back. So again, this eclipse, because it's very crisis prone in the 10th house with Scorpio and the South Node. South Node is to lose something, and I knew something might happen. I didn't know exactly what, but I knew some crisis in my career and something toxic to be removed. And I was feeling like this old website was starting to be like this. It had a life of its own. It had morphed into some big monster, and I didn't have control over it. I was I was kind of, it was stifling me. But I would never delete my own account, or I needed to start something new. So this eclipse can give you an opportunity for you as an Aquarius to release, to be relieved from, either through crisis, either sometimes you do it yourself, sometimes some external force does it to you, like me. It did it, but it's like a renewal. And to be relieved from something toxic in your career environment. A toxic boss can leave your life, a toxic parent, a toxic authority figure, or toxic institution, like, you know, these big corporations like YouTube, Google's, the institutions. And I'm like, you know, I'm still gonna use them, but this was a great opportunity to push me to build something else, independent of them. For some of you, it can mean that a job, a toxic career, you're rid of it. You know, a toxic, let's say not toxic, but something that it just has too much heavy emotions and feeling. Some aspect of your career can disappear. Some of you might decide to change a job, or get, you know, to shift in a different direction, or to change, or to complete some project, and that's it. It's not necessarily lost. It's you complete something you've been working on, something that's already been in action, and you see the results of it now. That's another meaning of eclipse. And actually, the ancients said when there is an eclipse in your 10th house, you can become like a king. So sometimes even promotions, you know, new job, but it's clearing for space. There might be some crisis situation that clears the space for more authentic growth, more free of heaviness, and to reinvent yourself. Because for Scorpios, Scorpio is our 10th house of Sagittarius. We constantly have to reinvent ourselves when it comes to career, and to have rebirths there, and to get more and more empowered. And sometimes like really drastic and dramatic things happen to us to push us in that direction, because that's the energy of Scorpio. If you as an Aquarius want to have a smooth career, that's not in the cards. If you have your ascendant in Aquarius, or sun or moon, the sun and moon not so much, the moon not so much, but the sun and Aquarius, rising, always there is like some big transformations they have to do with their image, with their career, and big crisis and shifts can push us in that. So this eclipse can be pushing some of you exactly in that direction, to shed an old public image, and to, or career, or you know, or even to kind of complete some power struggle with a powerful authority figure, to have them out of your life, for them to be released of their influence. Someone that was maybe belittling you, or too heavy on you, you know. So sometimes the status can happen even by divorce or marriage. So, but a big shift can be happening for some of you. So exciting. You know, this time my horoscope is like spot on for myself, at least. And of course, the ball is in your hands, because Saturn is in your sign, Aquarius, which means you are the strongest planet. And it's activating the eclipses, both of them. But it means that you regroup, and you are the one who pulls the threads, so to speak. Yes, something can happen unexpectedly, out of the blue, but your own personal initiatives, the first house is that, is what will determine the stabilization, and not only stabilization, but kind of success of the situation. All right, then we have a huge other big news, but let's go step by step. May the 3rd, Venus enters our 3rd house. Communication, some good news comes till the end of the month. Someone helps you with information, with communication. Someone, you know, you ask for help, they direct you in the right direction. They're helpful, they're understandable, you know, they help you solve a problem of some sort. Or you have better communication, or really kind of any activities connected to marketing, advertising, media can go smoothly, or websites and business, commercial activities, sales. Or if you have some important presentation, you kind of have like the silver tongue touch, so to speak. And you're more likable by, and you attract associates very likely, easier, when Venus is in the 3rd house. Or maybe some pleasant trip, short trip in May that can happen. Short trip means like, you know, maybe next state, or next town, or next country, you know, or for a few days to a hotel, or whatever, exploring here and there in your environment. but also the flow of information increases, but more enjoyable communication. You might enjoy reading more, spending time chatting up with friends, reading the news and such kind of mental activities, or doing anything to do with your hands, with skills, with writing to speaking. Such projects go great. I'm starting teaching from the beginning, basically from the 4th of May. Third house is also to teach skills and techniques and training, so I'm gonna really have a blast and meet some lovely people. Plus is to meet pleasant conversationalist people, friends. But the big news is that Jupiter is also entering Aries on the 10th of May and will stay in your 3rd house for almost a year, till the end of the year. Then in November and December, or December, it comes out of the 3rd house and then comes back again in 2023. So definitely you'll be building big bridges for the next almost year. You will be expanding your social circle, you're expanding your social influence, because it's a social house, the 3rd house. If you have your own business, you would expand the outreach, because 3rd house is, you know, the media, connecting with others, clients, your communication with them. There will be a lot more expansion of such activities and growth of such things, growth of marketing, of sales, of teamwork. Also, it indicates something really good coming to you through teamwork. So if you have something important to do, well, Jupiter is in the 3rd house, do it in a small team environment where there is brainstorming and so on. It's the 3rd house, the house of planning and strategizing. You can come up with some great plans. You might miss some details, but they're kind of grand and nice. It's about expanding. 3rd house is social media, business, marketing, advertising, writing, speaking, training. If you are doing anything with those things, it will go fantastic. Plus, you know, another really great thing is that 3rd house is your mental state and your internal dialogue. And since we've been having Saturn in our sign, I think a lot of Aquarians have been having a more negative chapter, because Saturn tends to have this kind of to lower a little bit the vibration and a bit more depressed. Well, Jupiter entering our 3rd house of the mind, our mind becomes more positive. You'll start finding more positive connections around you, especially by speaking with other people, by discussing, by you read a book, come across something, gives you a solution, makes you feel more positive. You pick up the phone, chat with a friend, and they uplift you. So this can be one of the most exquisitely pleasant social time in your life. The other day I was even talking with Nicole and said, hey, Jupiter entering your 3rd house. I remember when this happened, that was one of the best social time in my life, friends and meeting new people, and it was just a lot of fun and I felt so positive. And I'm like, oh, God bless you. I'll repeat that to my audience. So yeah, so, and plus 3rd house is to learn new skills, and Jupiter really makes you expand learning new skills, makes you not only enjoy but thrive into it, and your communication becomes more inspirational, more clear. Maybe if you're someone who writes or speaks or makes videos or has to communicate with others, you'd have to do this a lot more. So maybe if you write books, you'd write 2 books within a year or 3. Or if you write articles, anything with the 3rd house, you might have to, you know, you'd write a lot more, you'd be a lot more ideas. So if you're a salesperson, 3rd house, or work with websites, with internet, with customer client contact, 3rd house is again to communicate with administrative tasks, with business meetings. Wow, you might feel a bit overwhelmed from all the things you have to do that come as opportunities, especially in business team related experiences. It can also indicate gaining a better laptop, a better learning to a new skill, driving, sewing, learning a new skill, like hobbies as well is the 3rd house. So I don't know, house of hobbies, learning new skills, new hobbies, taking courses and classes, taking some or training and teaching others. An opportunity will appear for you that will give you more freedom, and that will improve your skill set to a... So yes, Jupiter in the 3rd house will definitely bring good things to us from others, by contacting with others, by building bridges, by creating new friends, new knowledge. and be more adventurous. Definitely third house is one of the most adventurous houses. Plus it's the house in ancient astrology of self-made wealth. And to tell you a secret, when Jupiter passed my third house 12 years ago, that's when I started the Astrolada brand. And look at it, like a clockwork, time to reinvent. 12 years later, at the same repeat, this is when the Astrolada brand, so something which created self-made wealth to me by using my own skills, and that was a website, social media channel, and a website. So this is fantastic time if you want to start a business when Jupiter transits the third house, if you want to learn a new skill, if you want to have more social influence, if you want to reach out more audience, and so on. Plus Jupiter will make a trine to our 7th house, which improves personal relationships as well, and our 11th house, which is about gains and rewards, and about friendships and network. All right, and you're gonna see this very strongly in the from May already. And the flow of information, you'll be very busy with such things, speaking, communicating, writing, or doing websites or such things, you know. And then Mars again in the month also joins Mercury, Jupiter, so it will even speed up and make it more exciting and more busy. And mental traffic will be so fast starting to happen there. Plus your more positive mental thinking. Then let's see, the next event is Mercury goes retrograde in our 5th house on May the 10th. I think exactly like 7-8 years ago, Mercury was again retrograde in our 5th house in Gemini, and that's exactly when I became very dissatisfied with my current website, because people were saying it's not, there are problems, glitches, it's not functional. So you take something existing and try to redo it, something that you created. 5th house is your own creations. It might be something you've written, something you made like a website or whatever it is, and you redo it. And I started on a process during Mercury retrograde when I saw where things were not as efficient there, and I started on a 9-month process to make a new website around then. But you'll become clear of what is not working, first of all, in this 5th house, which is your own creations. You might have to redo an old creative project or something that you've done, like I'm redoing my website and everything, and completing and putting extra efforts into doing an app. 3rd house, 5th house is anything that is your own ideas that you have to revamp or correct some mistakes there. Plus 5th house is your children. They can be the need to spend more time with a child of yours, the need to help them more, to have some important communications with them. Maybe their lifestyle will change somehow around that time, the routines in their life will change, and maybe they'll need help with classes or courses or something like that. And maybe the rules, because Mercury is, let's re-examine the rules between us and what are your responsibilities, what are mine. With a child or with a loved one, 5th house is also your romantic love partner. So you might want to revive the romantic life, and you come out and you have some important conversations with your romantic partner, or revisit some places that you used to love before. Because Mercury is also connected a bit to traveling in the 5th house, holidays, romance, but also maybe speaking about things that you were, let's say, sweeping under the carpet with your loved one, boyfriend, girlfriend, or romantically, because they need to be discussed now, and they culminate, they come to the surface, things that maybe bothered you, but you didn't want to bring them fully, or your partner didn't want to, but now it escalates. So you might have to set up new rules again of your romantic life, and re-examine how you do the romantic relationship, or maybe go on some holiday you were planning before that you couldn't now do it, you know, or something romantic you wanted to do before, or you've been before, to now re-examine it, revisit such a place. Or you can just see that lovers from the past write to you, or you're thinking more about them, or you're trying to rethink and reading to understand deeper and from a different perspective about your love life or about your self-confidence. 5th house rules all of those things. And you can have some deep realizations as well, aha moments. All right, then Mercury goes retrograde into another sign on May the 24th in our 4th house, and that's property, place of living, house. So you might be some delays of having to fix, you know, and we'll have exactly then people building something in the garden, and they said they'll be finished by the end of May, and I looked, Mercury will be going retrograde in my 4th house, and I said, no, you won't be finished till mid-May, till Mercury turns direct and gets out of my 4th house. So there might be some delays with home, with property, with signing contracts of such things, or some reshuffling, some shifting, or some important conversations you have to do with family, with home, or some replanning about something to do with your family, the plans of your family and so on. And kind of, you might have certain plans that we're gonna do this and this with my family, whatever, but when Mercury goes retrograde in your 4th house, like something will make you have to replan, rearrange such matters. So you have to be flexible in such matters as well. Okay, and then Mars enters our 3rd house. How much more can I talk about the 3rd house? It will be there the whole June and part of July. Really, like, it will speed up the possibility for communication, media, marketing, anything to do with website, with social media, with administration, working in a team, meeting and greeting people and meeting new people and short trips and so on. So that will be busy, busy, busy. You'll be on fire, guys. Thank you so much, Capricorns. And yeah, I hope this is a very colorful and contrasting month with some possibilities of crisis, but also such great upliftment coming to us from Jupiter. So thank you so much. And if you want to use this 3rd house to learn new skills, join me on my course at the end of at the start of May. Even if you can't make it live, you can watch the recordings. There is a installment plan there where I can teach you how to do astrology the Astrolada way. Very simple techniques, simple and fast. That's the way I like it.